Yesterday was Guru Purnima. Purnam means full, infinite. Purnima is full moon. Guru means teacher. And I know I'm a day late, but that's because I spent the whole entire day integrating. I am happy to say I now have 4 material gurus in addition to the first one, which is the inner one, which is Shiva himself. So I have Bhagwa martial arts. That's been like my number 1. I have Sitar. I have Tantra Yoga, and I have now taken on Hindustani vocals. And that is a lot of how I'm able to get my research to materialize and get done. And as we all know here in this space, it only is unconventional when you think of reality as dead matter. If singing is just singing, martial arts is just martial arts, when in fact, Bhagwa is the reason I was able to think of the 8 directional forces that help create dualities of the universe, because there's an 8-fold path, like 8 directional force form, you know? So all of these really intersect. I had a little breakthrough on what needed to be applied to my research and how I see it evolving in the future and what kind of container it needs to be in. So I've shared kind of like part 1 of what my physical, literal gurus are and how they help me maintain a clear consciousness channel so I can produce my best work and hear the divine guidance to continue theorizing and transmitting deep cosmic truths. And also there are 2 things I have to offer based on that. So the first one being your emotions, and this is a little bit of a conversation around self-worth, loving yourself enough to feel that what you're experiencing is data. Experience is also data. And I know that people say don't give meaning to every single feeling. Yeah, that's nitpicking, that's insane. But of course, if there's something compounding over time, it is worthwhile to think that, you know, your emotions are also a guru of their own. Sometimes we feel like we're just waiting on the right teacher for whether it's Tantra, or we feel like it has to look like a really, really old, wise sage, when it could be a 15-year-old asking you a question about free will, inviting you to deepen your articulation and definition on something. The second aspect is the download for my own self that I can give to you about how I feel the audience members here are quite unique in that they're not all non-dual Shiva Tantra. I think that actually might be a small percentage of the people who listen to me, but it seems like a lot of y'all like the idea of building something super cool and unique and like thinking about big cosmic thoughts that are out there. And a lot of us are coming from a place of seeing how there's a war on consciousness and how there's a decline here, or fragmentation here, corruption here. And we want to be sustainable. We want to be powerful in what we create. We want it to be long lasting. So remember that your existence and what you create can be a contrast, meaning that sometimes it's not really about fighting evil as much as it is embodying the good. Because here's the thing, if there's a darkness or an evil out there and it's got its whole system set up to the point where it's like deep in a lot of people's psyches, because remember, the best things don't always come top down, they move laterally. Think about peer pressure, right? Convincing you to do something. You might not listen to authority, but you'll listen to your friends. If that system has that level of strength and you're, you know, in a consciousness of wanting to combat it, there's 2 problems with that. 1, it could potentially take you on early on and beat you with the behemoth that it is. And 2, let's say you win that. Well, you've already broadcasted a frequency of constantly being in combative mode. And when you think about your life, if it's the very system you want to escape, which is like, you know, constant output, hustle mindset, and realizing that we want to go beyond this versus mentality and realize everyone just needs to be within their own container, embody their frequency, and be in that harmonious state, then sometimes we need to take a step back and look at, yeah, we're a bit of forensic scientists, all of us, I would say, like we're cosmic forensic scientists, clocking the T on what kind of nonsense is going on and how it's working. But that can also, we can let that work more inwardly so that our creation reflects that wisdom. rather than the creation constantly transmitting, hey, do you know what this is going on? Let's fight, fight, fight. Now, if that is literally part of your dharma, that's a different story. All I'm saying is, if you want to build something where not only are you creating a utopia for others, but it's extremely important that you create it for yourself, because you cannot teach others what you yourself do not know, then it's important to broadcast something so powerful that the values you preserve naturally destroy what doesn't serve. Ooh, that's a good one. Because you have creation, preservation, destruction as like the three core aspects of the universe in Hindu cosmology. And we're working on creation here, right? Building new realities, first from within and then in the without. But if we're so focused on destroying, we may lose sight of what we're preserving. So if we just invert that a little bit and focus more on what kind of reality do we want to create, and sometimes knowing something that you won't stand for and you don't want to have in your life is just as important as knowing what you do want to have in your life.